How many tabs do you have open on your computer at any given moment?
I try not to do that. If I get past like 6 or 7, I start getting confused.
Rodney Alejandro, producer, writer, performer, musical director for The Script, top liner for The Temptations, Narda Michael Walden, Roger Daltrey, Sting, Lauryn Hill, so many people. Author of the Berklee Online course, Toplining and Vocal Production. Welcome to 4-4.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
Tell me and the viewers exactly what toplining is.
Toplining is a niche form of songwriting. You typically start with a melody and a lyric, and then you build the song around it. You decide the song form, you're able to change things to really support the emotion of the song. Toplining is different. It's more of a ground up build where there's already a beat, harmonic progressions, it might be formed out already. And so then someone comes in and writes a melody and lyric and includes some of the performance on top of that. Now, the one extra caveat to that is that track or that beat has been approved by somebody. Some stakeholder in this collaboration has said, you know what, I really need this song completed. I need something on top of it. They go find a top liner to get that melody and lyric on top. And a lot of times you don't really change much of the beat anymore. You got to work with that. And that specialist comes in and top lines.
I remember when Beyonce's Lemonade came out and people were looking over the songwriting credits. Certain songwriters were providing anecdotes. I wrote this section and not the other sections. So they were just given little pieces of the song. How often does that happen in toplining?
Part of toplining is multiple people having input. And a lot of times, it's not that they were given a certain section. It was that everyone made an attempt at writing perhaps the whole song. As the producer got the song with the artist, they may have picked sections that they really like, or the song was already laid out and then they sent it out to other people, and these other people added things according to the concept that's already there. They could have gotten back 3 different pre-choruses and then decided we're going to like those 2 writers' pre-choruses or that writer's pre-chorus and put it all together. You might end up with 6, 7, 8, 10 writers.
You have worked with The Temptations, Ray Charles, Sting, Lauryn Hill, Roger Daltrey, Stevie Wonder. Who has the freshest breath?
Yeah, I'm used to the keyboard player, so I'm going to say I'm in the back. I don't know.
Who has the best handshake?
Ooh, Roger had a very firm handshake, but you kind of suspect that from an old rock and roller. You know what I mean? Just come on, get in there. And, yeah.
Describe the moment where you said to yourself, I need to do this for a living.
I was 13 years old in my junior high school jazz ensemble, and we had to compete against high schools because we were a fine arts school. Because we had a great year, somehow the district found money to put us into a recording studio and record a full-length album. We had like 4 days in the studio in Houston, Texas. During one of the breaks, I kind of stepped out of what I learned was the live room where everyone set up, and I went into what was called the control room where everyone was pushing, seeing the knobs and everything. And I'm like, what is this? What is it called? How does it work? And they kind of like pushed me out and like, get out. And I kept going back in, it's one of those things. And I'm like, I want to know what this is. It sounds amazing. Later to find out, this was an engineer and this is what that person does. This is a producer and this is that person's job. That week I was on such a high, I figured out like this, whatever that I'm going to do that. And that's where it kind of started. And then it got into writing songs, producing, writing, and learning how to engineer anything music related. I was like off the deep end after 13.
Tell me about being the musical director for The Script.
When I left Berklee in the late 90s, we're producing loads of artists. The singer and guitar player of The Script were in another configuration of a band called My Town, like a boy band. I produced on that record when they were on Universal. We wrote a bunch of songs and one of them made that album and then it was released. Well, that band ran its course. The 2 fellas had ended up in LA at some point, and we reconnected. This was maybe 5 years later. We started writing songs as a writing team in LA. During that process, we kind of created a showcase for Sony. And that idea of The Script was born. I actually moved to Dublin at some point and I helped write and produce and do some songs on there. I was never one to want to be an artist anymore because I felt those days had passed me. And so I just worked on that first record. And at some point it came time for them to take off on that. And I came back to the States. Fast forward from that moment, a few years, and then 3rd record came around. They're like, it was just a chance text. And I was like, hey, would you like to come check some things out, like work on some music with us. Next day, I flew to London and didn't go back for, I don't know, 6-7 years. We wanted the songs to sound as close to the record as possible and bigger. When you're playing a stadium with 80,000 people or a festival with 100,000, it's not just put the CD on, let's see what happens. You got to have the energy. You got to have the arrangements so that that energy is projected. There's definitely an objective of getting the songs right according to the record, because that's how the audience knows them. Keeping the integrity of the songs together and then building on them, making the sounds, the production elements of it sonically, bigger, so that we fill that stadium with a full sound, full energy, keep the integrity of the song together. Now let's just build on that.
This is a 1979 Quiz 500 music trivia quiz.
Oh no.
As many as you can answer.
Okay.
We'll keep going. Okay. Who stars in the musical movie The Wiz?
Michael Jackson.
The Beatles performed at Woodstock. True or false?
False.
Smokey Robinson and the
Miracles.
Whose album is News of the World?
Oof, couldn't tell you that one. Sorry.
Queen.
I played with Queen at Rock in Rio Festival.
Did you really?
I should have known. Our band were on the same bill at the Rock in Rio Festival. It was the Script, One Republic, and Queen.
What's your go-to recipe if you're having people over?
Ooh, I make a fresh salsa. I like to think I make the best chicken tacos in the world. Thanks for having me for this. I hope we got it right.
I think we did.